Mars Centaur Axe or something like that.
Yeah, it was all last heroes. All the heroes that he's played before. Now, do you feel like that works better because they have 2 offlaners? So that they're going to be, there's a small pool, and then they take 2 more, and then there's nothing left?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
feel like that could backfire just as easily.
Yeah,
you know? like if Virtus Pro's like, okay, let's ban all the offlaners. Yeah. They take like 1 offlaner, then what's left?
Yeah.
9 offlaners later, there's nothing left in the pool.
They ban like Pango Centaur Axe, then they're just gonna full commit to doing it.
I think the cool thing is 33's hero pool is like pretty funky. Like he plays a lot of weird, unconventional heroes that not your everyday player. Like he'll bust out a Visage or something. You know, he plays the Broods.
Still haven't seen that hero, sadly.
That hero is not great.
All right, so this is honestly a pretty easy assumption. If they were going to do it against Cyber Legacy, of course they're going to do it against Virtus Pro, in my opinion. Where Rezo feels as though he should be the person to target. He's newer to offlane. He has certain heroes that he likes to play against. There are certain heroes that he likes to play with. Like,
10 seconds remaining.
I think they're trying to take advantage of that right now.
And so not only in draft, but in game 2 also, just try and put the most pressure on Rezo, put him out of his comfort zone.
I really feel like if OG feels like they're going to do that against them, or Cyber Legacy, like Rezo is the perfect person to do it too. I would imagine a Pango ban comes next, maybe Centaur, but I think Pango is pretty good too. You can ban both of them. You have 4 bans now. Oh, okay, so they get rid of like 1 serious first pick hero.
That has been the most played hero by Virtus Pro at ESL One so far.
So there's a lot of first picks still. There's Ember Spirit, Ember Tusk, Shadow Demon, Pango, like all good options. Keeper of the Light, I believe, is still in the pool too.
Yep.
Like there's a ton, and so Virtus Pro life is a little bit complicated for them right now because they know that they have to give up 2 first pick worthy heroes. And so they just have to figure out themselves which one they want to take out of that, which is why they're kind of holding on to this ban.
Now they have to also factor in the fact that the offlane pool is going to be quite small. So maybe normally you'd first pick that Coddle, for example, but you're like, well, what if they then take like the Centaur or the Pango and there's no offlaners left, for example? You may have to first pick the offlaner.
So that's why this strategy by OG is pretty unique and interesting.
Well, VP definitely chewing through a lot of time here, a bit caught out by some of the OG bans.
This last ban always takes the longest, right? Because it's you're trying to figure out what they're going to last ban, so you'll know what's available in that first pick territory.
Okay, so they banned Keeper. So now you have Tusk, Centaur,
Pango.
I think they really liked Pango last time, but they might just feel like with all the heroes that aren't available, Centaur is also a really good option too.
There's Oracle Troll. That combo's still out there as well.
Oracle is banned by VP.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Missed it.
But Shadow Demon, so I think they looked at it like, okay, there's the 3 big 5s. Coddle, Shadow Demon, Oracle, 2 are banned. We're going to take the Shadow Demon.
Do they Chen Tusk? We'll see. That's what really popular combo that we've seen lately. We don't see a lot of people pick Chen, but like, you see all the really old school 5s, like Puppy, Kuro, they really like it.
And when OG pick it, it can be flexed into a core role. 33, of course, can play it in that kind of 3-position role. I guess he's the mid laner technically, but he played a offlane Chen when Sumail was mid-Ember, I believe, early in the tournament. So this was 2 heroes that had him one of the earlier drops, actually, the Chen with the Ember.
There's Nyx Assassin you can take, there's Tusk, still the offlane option that you can take of either Pango or Centaur. Still a lot of good second choice heroes here.
And the Chen feels even better because Shadow Demon not a hero that addresses Chen very well. Some of those 5s are much better against the Chen, like the Witch Doctors, where you have the Cask. You may want to consider like the Mirana, the Arrow against the Chen creeps. You also have this setup from Shadow Demon, but first doing a Mirana, like, I don't know, I think if anything you just want to get your Rezo, Pango, Centaur type hero here, not reveal too much.
It's pretty interesting though. Like, I even forgot about the Ember because there's so many different heroes that are available to everybody. Normally at this point, there's a very clear option. It's like, oh, okay, Shadow Demon's left. Probably somebody will take Shadow Demon. Or there's a Tusk plus Chen left or something like that. So they take Centaur because I think revealing your support duo this early on is kind of bad anyways.
And it's very, OG know exactly what heroes Rezo has been playing and wants to play. Like
Yeah.
it was going to be probably the Centaur or the Pango, and that's that.
Do you feel like the number of bans that we have at the start is part of the reason that we have so many like must-pick heroes in that first 4? I mean, it feels like we've got a list of like very often 5 to 8 heroes that are all like really strong right now that are viable in that first pick. Is that because there's more bans at the start, so the most powerful heroes are banned away, or is it just more of the meta right now that there's a lot of different options?
I feel like it is because of the first thing you're saying, where there is, you know, there's these extra bans, so it created this small elite group of heroes that would slightly flip through. But then what happens when there's all these extra bans is you get a game like this where neither team targets those top meta heroes. You have one team targeting the offlaners, the other team, I mean, we haven't seen that many first bans on Lycan and DP, I feel. Like these are heroes that usually will sometimes slip through. So both teams banned some unconventional stuff, which meant those typical bans, everything suddenly flooded through. Bristleback we've seen used very successfully this tournament, gets banned up by OG, particularly against the Ember. This is a hero I feel like has caused Ember a lot of problems in lane and in the game as a whole.
You're just really tanky and you can run down.
Not afraid of the Chen creeps or just Chen in general
No.
too.
Doesn't bother you. Not enough damage. He can go Spirit Vessel, but you can go Lotus Orb.
Yep.
At this point, you're probably looking at your 4 position, I'm guessing. You want to leave, I mean, I guess you could also take your offlaner, but the important thing is you want to leave your mid and safe lane open, right, for Ember Spirit to flex into.
Yeah, and maybe you want to keep that flex by picking 4. Your Chen can still flex between the 5 and the 3 roll.
Right.
So I think that would make a lot of sense. Figure out what Suxa wants to play. Surprised to see Tusk go untouched. That hero's just looked insane. But they get Jakiro, which theoretically is a 5, so this maybe does lean towards the Chen being a core again.
Yeah, it could be. Pairs nicely with the Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
Chains leads into an easy ice path, maybe even a macropyre.
We've got multiple heroes with these long-range disables, the Ember and the Jakiro, with the slight searing chains, and then the ice path. It's just so annoying. There's this constant poke damage where you just feel like you're losing half your health before a fight even begins, and you didn't have a chance to use any spells or do any damage yourself.
Creates a nice barrier of sorts against the Centaur Stampede.
Can't rely on that Stampede escape when they're just constantly kiting you and poking at you. And it's another hero that theoretically sieges towers and plays fast pace with the Chen. Like if you're looking to go for that last 20-25 minute game, you've got Jakiro, you've got the Liquid Fire. It's a good pushing hero as well.
OG's turn to pick.
Grimstroke. This is looking like it could be a good, Grimstroke Slark game? Grimstroke Riki?
I think it's a better Grimstroke Riki game. It's really good against Ember Spirit in game, and a lot of these like squishier supports that don't have like an insta way of getting out. Chen's a little bit annoying because he has so much heal, but if you can get on top of him too, he has no defensive capability. Ice Path is like not a bad spell at all against Riki because you can pop it on top of where the tricks and trades are, but you can wait it out a little because no matter what OG, so the tricky thing about drafting against OG is you're not really sure who the off lane hero is. Like they can do it in a lot of different ways with this Chen and stuff like that. So in terms of, it might not be the biggest advantage it normally is.
I would be a little scared picking Riki or Slark into OG's draft right now, because if they are having that super fast-paced, let's group up and just constantly fight, neither of those heroes wants to fight into like these 5-man kind of lineups. I think they struggle versus that. You're better off just using the Inkswell on like the Centaur or I don't know, I'm trying to think what the other heroes that want to come online and just fight into 5-man Death Bowl is a bit more, but Slark definitely feels very risky.
That's a shaker. I mean, I think Riki is pretty good here.
Yeah.
Based on what I see. With the combos that you have SD disrupt you to be able to save him. I think that he plays well on this back line, and he's going to be like a good killer, I should say. or like something like Spec or something. If you feel like OG doesn't have enough damage.
It might be that a more durable hero is better against the long-range stuns of Fissure, Ice Path. Those more mobile heroes may have a hard time always staying ahead of these disables, but...
I just want a hero that can utilize the Grimstroke thing and get on top of them. But they go the other way and just go pure tanky.
Good hero to lane against the Ember as well. If we're expecting maybe Sumail to rotate towards that mid lane to play the Ember, no one's probably thinking like, all right, what's my good matchup going to be against an Ember? And Necro, one of those heroes that crushes this lane.
They could just swerve though and put like Chen off lane, Shaker safe lane, like Chen plus like Shakira off or something like that, and then move Ember to the safe lane.
I also would not be shocked to see a mid Chen. As crazy as that sounds, there's creep camps right next to your lane. You can grab some of those small to those medium camp creeps. You can just use the Chen, grab a enemy range creep, and just get all the last hits. You know, I imagine there's ways you could play the Chen mid. 33 is the kind of creative player that would pull something like that out.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, they're really flexible with the heroes that they have right now. Like, you're not really sure what direction they're going. I would like them to have something though that just like hits everything. So Spectre like Ricky.
They banned the Gyrocopter, which does kind of hit everything in a fight, but also leads to what you were kind of talking about, Gons, which is you're afraid of getting run over by OG. Yeah. Gyrocopter's a bit faster paced.
I feel like VP don't have much teamfight at all right now. Like, there's no real big ultimates to be afraid of, and they just don't have many actual tools when OG looks to play around this Chen, these aura items that are going to be coming out. A core Chen's going to get all those aura items up that much faster, and that's something you've got to be a little bit worried about. But Necro, at least a hero that you can kind of just sit in front with the Centaur, so two very tanky frontliners in OG. Right now the damage is really just this Ember Spirit, so...
There's the Spectre.
One pick too late, I called it, but...
Yeah.
I did feel like they needed something that hits in the backline. I thought Ricky was good too with the Grim, but Spectre is like...
much
just
better
that, yeah.
Finding...
I wanted something that just like
example.
hits everything.
Yeah.
And it fits in with the durability that we were talking about with the Necrophos, right?
Yeah, the
It's
Ricky's...
kind of both the best worlds.
The Ricky's not so durable, and I think what Blitz mentioned about like the Ice Path against Ricky is really annoying to play against. And then you've got Shaker as well. You've got these two disables from Fog that just can ruin your game.
And it's a Brewmaster. That's going to be our second off-lane hero. So who is going where? And who's taking what?
33 Chen and Seb Brew would be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be in the off-lane Chen and then mid Brewmaster?
They could safe lane it against the Centaur if they don't want that matchup.
I think we're seeing mid Chen against Necro. That's my...
Okay. I think Sumail will
I'm
be...
completely just speculating, but...
I think Sumail will be safe lane. I think he wants to play against the Centaur. Like, I think Ember against Centaur is a matchup that feels okay. You just go Blightstone. Centaur doesn't have the most armor.
And do you think that's going to be enough for OG?
I personally like VP's draft. I thought the Spectre pick was very good. So I'll go with them. I think that he's a hero that can go late game, but he puts a lot of pressure on OG to end the game really early, because I don't think as the game scales they'll have enough damage. Like, once he gets Manta, Radiance, like Diffusal, whatever he wants to get, like, there's a lot of options that are good this game. He can even just go Diffu into Manta and then build like a Butterfly into Heart or something, and he'll be really unkillable in my opinion.
God, do you agree?
I definitely agree. I think if this game, but this is going to be one of those OG games we saw in that first series versus Enigma. They're looking to run over them. Look at 33's chance to set the tempo, and I would slightly favor VP, but it would not shock me to see OG just run over them, take a bunch of team fights early, and just crush this game in like 20-25 minutes.
All right, well, no matter what the outcome is, you at home who's watching OG versus Virtus Pro, you already know it's going to be a home run. But when you see the casters, you're going to know it's a grand slam.
I shall honor you.
Know your place. Know your place.
Indeed, VP versus OG, the two top teams in this the group. It should be a great one, right? VP is undefeated in OG, right? Everyone thinks this is one of the best teams, and you see the odds. This is pretty much dead even. BSP,
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah, you guys at home as well as myself. This is going to be a very competitive series. Whether or not that means it's going to be like 3 stomps, you know, where it's
Yeah.
back and forth. It's pretty crazy how in a meta like this, the game's pretty snowbally. That I think these games could be kind of one-sided, but like in a way that just one team out-strategizes the other, not because one team's strictly better than the other. And we are going to see a mid-Chen. The Gods talked about this. That was his prediction of the game, and that is the case. It doesn't really make sense to lane Ember. They don't have any other carry either. And your Brewmaster should have a pretty good start because he has that fissure block. That's the nice part about this 4-position shaker. I personally am a bit of a fan of VP's draft, but I also think the unknown factor. Yeah, I was like talking about with you off screen about what they could pick on VP if it is an offlane Chen to lane against it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, I've never laned against offlane Chen.
I don't know what is good versus it. Even middle, right? Even middle. Like,
that's the point.
What
Is
the
like
hell?
I personally have no idea what this Chen is going to do coming from the mid lane in terms of just the overall game impact and like how the CS is going to match up with this Necro, a hero that pretty much always wins its lane. Will that be the case against the 33 mid Chen? But if somebody is going to run mid Chen,
it's him.
It's going to be 33 for sure.
Yep, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye out on that. Meanwhile, it is Sumail and No Tail up top. This Jakiro hero, it's seen a little bit of play, right? In South America, we saw Duster play it a little. We've already seen OG play it once or twice. I mean, why aren't we seeing it as much if there are some teams who are willing to pick it? Is it just, what are its big problems, a hero like THD?
I think it's just mid-game is underwhelming in comparison to how much Grimstroke, for instance, offers to aggression. And
okay, that makes sense.
Like it's like a Wyvern in terms of lane pushing and D pushing, but it doesn't offer as much team fight control and save. So I think it's kind of like a little bit in between of everything. And there's just premium supports right now that really the only thing Jakiro does in lane is the attack speed slow from dual breath that really is unique to this hero. And against Suntar, it seems pretty nice in theory because he does rely heavily on that retaliate right click damage in order to lane properly. Gonna be keeping an eye out for this top lane momentum because I think whoever gets like level 3-4 first is going to come out heavily on top in this particular matchup.
And I've got a mechanics question. So in the middle lane, the Chen decided to take one of the first range creeps from Radiant. Isn't it a bad thing? Doesn't mean he loses experience?
I've seen this a lot. So the range creep, the way it works is they do piercing damage. So for people at home, what that means is there's different types of damage. You can look it up. Piercing damage does 50% bonus to creeps.
Oh, so
and range creeps do
hit
piercing. So it effectively has 31 damage, but that piercing means it's 45. So him plus that is like 100 damage if he's actually syncing them up.
Okay.
And so I think the idea is that even though you lose that first range creep, look at like you just do so much damage on last hitting that he is winning, or he's not actually winning.
Yeah.
I don't think he can win without the creep, I guess would be my better description.
He's getting bodied too hard. Like
Yeah.
he's keeping up even this little much because he has that extra damage. Because yeah.
And you sustain the creep too.
Yeah.
Pretty decently. It has twice as much health as it normally has. And he has 2 of them now, and now they have 16 damage.
Okay. He's in a little bit of trouble. 2 more attacks from Rezo. Looks like he won't have the move speed to catch up there as a courier waddles on by.
I'm just watching this trend because
because it feels like so pretty much you're willing to give up experience to gain either the extra last hit or maybe the harass, but no one's just been at full life the whole time.
No, piercing damage doesn't do full damage to heroes, so it's actually significantly less. You're mainly using it for
just
last hitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Tail will end up going down. It was close. Zayas was getting pushed back, but Rezo, and I think we've been saying that like the first series or something, we're like, oh, Rezo's still a little shaky on the offlane, and now we're like praising him. His offlane play has been so incredible to watch.
Oh god. Oh my gosh, he fed one of his range creeps on 33, so not only did he take range creep away from himself, but he also gave it to
no one has to be happy, right? If you're no one right now, you're definitely telling your team like this is an easy middle matchup because you look at it, he's 25 versus the 13-3. An extra range creep, as you say. He's double null. I'm sure no one's extremely happy with this.
Yeah, there's very few heroes Necro loses to, and none of them are in this game. So he's going to have a very good laning stage, and this hero relies on that early snowball more so than most other mid laners.
ILTW, he's taking a lot of damage. He will get Esl up. They're going to try to turn it on Seb, but ILTW's like, wait a minute, not too much HP. He does have the magic stick. But yeah, this bottom lane we didn't talk about too much. As you said, the Shaker gets the block, so Brute does get those early levels.
They're going to pull here after the lane pushes into the tower. Looks like, for the most part, everyone's getting theirs, but they are losing by a tad of CS in every lane on the side of
and
OG,
the first blood, like. So the gold just slowly is going up in VPs. You see more than 1,000 gold.
Like a massive nuke bottom.
He did. Oh, the Inkswell comes out a little late. It looks like they don't even want to go for the kill. They just want to go for the harass.
Is going to go down. It looks like
maybe 2 stacks poison. 4. Yeah, now you're dead. That multiplier will get him killed. So this top lane going extremely well for Virtus Pro right now. 2 of the kills. Will they get the pull up? Oh my goodness. Well played by Zayat's top.
Yeah, that Grimstroke Q does so much damage level 2. I think Seb got nuked for like 300 there because it hit an entire creep camp and a creep wave.
He just
ran down, yeah.
Dude, VP is storming this game right now, winning all 3 lanes, not just in CS, but in kills.
Yeah. I was a bit concerned for the way OG's been drafting, with this dual offlaner strat kind of playing with no mid laner, and so far I think they've kind of just been better individually than most of the teams they're playing against. But here we're seeing VP. They've been looking good all tournament. They're 4-0. They're bringing the heat with a real lineup. I hate to say real, but a very standard lineup.
Yeah.
That one would grow to expect from a professional Dota team, as ILTW does eat a lot of damage bottom, but Solo has TB'd back in with another Sal.
And so a tango.
Out
the
there,
double, yeah. Thank you, sir.
That's just the support life, man. If your cores are happy, you're happy.
And now you have a soul ring, so you do have a little bit more regen just straight up. And Panda is winning 28-2 versus 19-2. These polls have been good, so is it going to be Seb who's really going to have to make these moves in the mid game then?
Yeah, I think Seb, last time I saw him play Brew, I remember specifically it was against a Beastmaster and he had absolute free farm and he took over the game. And he doesn't have free farm here because he is having to expend resources to get regen, but at the same time he is like atop the CS and all the side lanes, and this Necro is going to be a serious problem.
Yeah, this guy's going to be unkillable for a certain amount of the game, it feels like.
He's just going straight Greaves on Necro because he's assuming that Sumail is going to go for the standard safe lane, and that's the most preemptive way to deal with it. It's really nice for his teammates. Very mana-starved cores, the Spectre as well as the Centaur. And overall, you want to try to match, I think, the sustain coming out from 33's Chen, as he actually feeds a jungle creep there to no one. So no one's not only getting all of the lane creeps.
He knows what's happening over here. He's like, wait a minute, he's just been going to the jungle. I'm just going to chase him away.
I was a bit concerned about this. I really had no idea for sure.
Kill him? He's dead with an ulti.
Yeah,
he just has to not get fogged. This is the hard part.
He's just salving himself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, and no one sees that. He needs to get around. And he will. Sumail is here. He makes it to the high ground, though. Sumail doesn't.
No slight for 3.
Slight. He's just gone.
It's some space, honestly.
It is. Necro just pulls him out, and that means top lane. It is No Tail getting some solo farm, but Rezo, he knows what just happened. He's like, wait a minute. Your carry is there. I'm just going to harass you.
It's funny because 33 got like all the CS in the mid lane during that time with these 2 range creeps.
No.
Don't look at his hero. That's not where the CS is coming.
It's not. You're right.
This is Enchantress 2.0 in terms of core Enchantress. When back last patch when she was getting played, utilizing those creeps in order to get that early farm, and looks like he's got an early home with a Dominator on 33, so if the 4 creeps from his active is not enough, we've now got that as well.
Oh. So what do you do with this middle? You just let this middle tower drop then?
I don't really know what your option is. He keeps walking into lane and Necro just kills his creeps for free, really, because you just get the regen from the Heartstopper aura.
And they don't really have someone like Jakiro doesn't have boots, so if Jakiro goes there to try to stop it, he's just gonna die, right? It feels like no one can go there at this point.
Necro is the range version of Timber. If you're not killing him, your lane's gonna get shoved into your tower, and he naturally just sustains and regens up, and just effectively trades with whoever's in his lane. So you just get bullied slowly but surely over time. It's a war of attrition when it comes to these types of heroes.
And a possible gank bottom from this Necro. They have to know something's up because the rune was scouted out those bottom and Dire is getting Necro rolling on down. ILTW and set. They're just gonna duke it out and they get the kill. Now Soxa, oh, the body block with the Invisor, and Soxa knew it was up immediately. That's a 10k MMR play, but it still don't matter. There's the sight, there's the kill. There's a 4k lead, 6-0 lead for VP. They are looking on point.
Yeah, I like the early point in Desolate, something we don't see very often from Spectres. They usually go like the 4-0-4, just maxed out tankiness, regen, farm.
Stay alive and farm build.
Yeah, the nice thing about Desolate, he didn't even level it this game on Brewmaster, but it doesn't miss. So the damage from it is really nice against Drunken Brawler specifically, but he's almost outplayed himself in regards to the fact that Brew just doesn't have that. But it is offering him that little bit of extra damage as they're going on the Brewmaster, expecting him to probably be alone since Shaker is the type of 4 position that kind of just leaves his 3 position to their devices. And the reason why I was concerned about the OG draft is a lot of the mid-game momentum and pace is supposed to be set by this Chen. And I really didn't know, but I just don't know very many heroes that beat Necro in lane. Yeah. And he clearly is not one of them based on how this matchup has played out. Both of them have very good CS, but Necro is level 9.
1,500 net worth, by the way.
Full level ahead.
And the middle tower is close to going down, but the Necro will just leave it for now. Level 9, he has a full arcane boot and a mech, as you said, going to that Guardian Greaves straight up, possibly.
Oh, and a triple stack. Oh, this is the dream.
Oh my god. Wait, he's like, wait, why are you guys coming
and
over
here? And a faded brooch, even more of the dream.
I like this, because I was wondering, I was like, the Chen is getting all the neutral items, and they haven't got many, and then here comes Necro. He's like, all right, I'll come scoop them all up for us now.
Yeah, something I noticed is it's becoming more and more popular to stack and then farm them right after the 7-minute mark. Obviously, in this case, it's the 10-minute mark, but getting those neutral items ASAP is really important, as Rezo, no ultimate for 3.
Yeah, he's in trouble. There is going to be a split. He pops it off. Rezo isn't blocked out, but he is going to be put under Bizide. Safe. Now, can they block him in? No. He will get stunned up. Do they have any more? Rezo still building. He gets thrown. They go in the backline. Oh my goodness. Chen as well as Ursher just get melted down. They're still alive, though. They are staying. No, there's going to be the scythe to kill off the Chen. Soxa just going to get run down by ILTW. They're willing to 5v5 you with the Spectre this early. Sumail's running away. ILTW says, I don't care. Dagger, will it kill him? Bonk, it does. Seth goes down. It is 10-0. It is a massacre.
This is what I have a feeling might happen in this series. I said it's going to be probably good Dota, but it might just be incredibly one-sided one way or the other.
It's going to be strategy-based, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the impression I had. I enjoy seeing VP just dissect them like this.
Yeah, this is a clinic.
You have to imagine the threat that OG's lineup has posed when you see it, right? The pace from Jakiro, the Chen, the early pushing, mid-game carry like Ember, and BP is just slam the door shut.
Yeah, and we talk about, like, when we say, like, OG, oh, they're not doing, like, normal drafts, we're comparing that to the rest of the meta. Maybe these are normal drafts for them, but right now,
beating everybody else with these drafts, to be fair.
And that's the thing, but then you play in VP, who is 4-0. They're the only other team undefeated besides Secret, and I think we're seeing a little bit of why. Well, not that's done by Rezo, but...
Yeah, that is definitely not why, but he is doing a great job of pressuring this tower with the catapult, full treads.
I love it.
Hood, extra little bit of tankiness from that poor man was very nice.
There we go. Sumail gets him on the board.
We're on the board.
Coming off solo. They will lose that top tower, as you talked about.
Now GG out.
This is it. You're just like, whatever.
Support, we're good.
What Spectre is going the Radiance? You like it this game? Just okay.
with this much of a lead, you just go to Radiance. I think you only don't go Radiance if you feel like you're forced to participate in a more impactful way earlier on in the game.
Oh my goodness, he already has the full Guardian, and he could have like 800 gold after this wave. He is a monster right now on Melon.
I always thought Centaur was considered a counter to Brewmaster, because right when Brewmaster pops a split, you just disengage. So
yeah, and he even held it, right? He got stunned up a bit, but because he's so far ahead, he's like, I'll just wait, and he used it as an escape.
He might just be dead. He can Centaur ult on top of him if he wants, but he's going to just hold it. I think that's worth holding on to for your team. Who's now mid.
Yep, but will they get it? No tail, the first one to take a ton of it. They're actually just going to back out. Yep, leave solo to get that kill. Uh-oh, no one has the ulti. It's level 2. He's going to throw it out. You're dead, and you're dead for 51 seconds this early into the game.
Yeah, it's a level 2 Necrophos ulti, so it's 25, not just 15 extra respawn time.
Smoke up immediately. I like this, because Spectre's ulti's coming off cooldown in 25. You could very well just take another fight right away.
This is the dream type of way to play Necro. Yeah, Necro defines a lot of strategies when he is picked this later on. Like, he just says, hey, we sustain, we shove the lane. Him and Bristle, 2 best lane shovers in the entire game for me. Like, if they exist in that lane, no hero can really outpush them. And Necro, I think, is actually the best, and why we've seen it sometimes against Bristle. Like, it's just what the hero represents. And the only way to stop it is to actually just kill him. Like, that's the only way. And at this point, I don't really see how they're going to do that. They don't have the toolkit, I think, to get it done. They even have the Blink Dagger coming out on Centaur, so there's the fear of the counter initiation. If you commit too many heroes onto one, you have the Haunt. So there's like a lot of threats that are dissuading you from committing onto him. Not only is it the fact that he's tanky, it's just looking real grim for the team that doesn't have Grim.
Yeah, Grimstroke is the only one death on their team as well. It was Solo going down middle. He's like, I'm just split pushing out middle. I'm rich. I don't care. And you do look at the net worth chart, man. This net worth, the graph part. I mean, it's just so rough. They're gonna put under resolution.
That's sick, actually.
Goodbye. I love it. The put
Dude, that
under
was so
to the
sick.
TP.
That's a long TP too, so they had to plan that ahead of time. It's a 6-second TP when you go to the outposts, and they knew he was coming. He waited patiently. He didn't like alert the Brewmaster. He waited for him to walk up the hill, and easy kill for them there. Well executed.
We do see the Chen does have a creep army finally. He has one of everything. He's got the smorgasbord here.
Radiant structure.
So we'll see what he does with it. That is the question. And Socksad tries to block out Noah, but Noah's like, you didn't block me out. I'm just going to keep walking. And 33, he has no boots, by the way. He's just trying to walk away slowly. He might lose all his creeps. Well, they have to take, could very well be over. Like, all of his creeps are going to pass away here. Socksad, he gets up the ulti. They do get fully healed, but no one is going to fully heal everyone even better. The better version of you, Chen. Seb does get the split. We are going to see a buyback, but Deer Shaker, you just used your ult. It will be on cooldown, and they're just tickling no one. He literally feels no pain right now. Guardian Greaves back up in 25 seconds. There's a Spirit Vessel on the Centaur. Meanwhile, the Spectre, no ulti, just already popped in his farming top. Maybe VP should think about getting out here because Spectre's not here.
I don't think they care. Brewmaster split, Echo Slam. It's all on cooldown.
This Necro is you have to be wary of him. He can 1v4 at this point.
When nobody has items on OG, all that matters is abilities to come back into the game.
The ult again, do they have enough damage to bring him down? No, they do kill him. They don't get the Reaper's kill, but yeah, they bring him down. That's all you care about. No kill. Gets right-clicked once, takes the 5th of his HP. They are melting up Necro, but as 21 charges still in all rezo, blinks and there's the perfectly timed Grimstroke stun into Centaur stun. Pistol stuns, he will try to get out of here. Necro actually getting so low, no, fully heals again. But Zayats, will he go down? It feels like a lot of people might go down, but no one's going down.
That's the Necrophos for you.
It really is, and Fox is like, I'm gonna get solo. He can't even pick off solo. In comes Seb. Hey, +1. I don't know if this is the +1 you want. Gonna try to cancel Rezo's blink. That'll be up in 3 seconds. And now he's getting run down by the Necro, who does have the Ghost Shroud slow in too. He pops it to slow him down. There's gonna be the new puzzle from Solo, slows him again. There's the stun, and I hate to say it, this is an absolute beatdown. This is a straight up beatdown.
Why do you hate to say it, Grant?
Because, you know, you do want to see good even Dota games, but sometimes, hey, you just want to see one team play super clean, and if you like that, then you are seeing a perfect game. It feels almost perfect from VP.
Yeah, near flawless. The Spectre securing the late game, so they feel completely comfortable just running up in OG's faces while ILTW farms 60-second cooldown on Haunt.
And
he only has level 1 Haunt. That says a lot about how much participation he feels like he has to have in this game.
33. No, they spotted him out. There is no way.
Don't do it to him.
We're about to have a 20-1 game. Yep. Do we have an ulti up? No. The Necro won't, you know, cast it on him this time. They're just gonna bring him down.
I just think this says so much about how VP's
See the replay here.
Like, first and foremost, it's like when Necrophos never dies, his teammates don't die. He's like Dazzle in that regard. He's just healing up everyone around him on a super low cooldown. And when you're watching this game, you think to yourself, God, like, OG's just freaking garbage, that kind of stuff. Like, that's what the viewers at home are probably saying in chat. And I just want to remind you guys that this is how they've been drafting this entire league, and they've beaten like everybody. So it really does say more to me about VP than it says about OG.
And a pupil's gift now as well for the Necros. So, hey, 13 more strength for you, my friend, and armor.
Yep. Why not? Attack speed as well, Grant.
Yeah. Oh no, he gives it away. What's he bring? Oh, the Nether Shawl. Ooh.
That's the value, actually. They have so much. They're almost all magical damage on OG. Nether Shawl is the dream item on Necrophos. You have the Blade Mill as well as the Guardian Greaves to alleviate the -3 armor problem. The Blade Mill, how do you ever kill this guy?
And they're running down bottom, by the way. He does have the Radiance now on the Spectre. This is a fight they want to take. Halfway set. Is he going to be able to get off his ultimate? Oh, no, he definitely will not. 60 seconds down. And now Sumail, he's going to get run out. The silence is there. He will kill it off. No kills on down. The Ember trying to juke and jive, but I don't think he's going to make it out of here.
I believe that was 110 ping remnant away there.
It wasn't. Right now, ILTW, he's here. He did use his ulti, trying to get out again. The TP, it might be enough. The dagger will miss, and he will survive. Oh, Rezo, he's like, well, that's probably the best way you guys have had this game. Unfortunately, we've been running over you. I'll give you one.
It makes me feel better to see someone as mechanically gifted as Sumail make mechanical mistakes because he's on 110 ping. You know,
what was the mistake there?
He had 2 remnants, one that was farther away and one that was right next to him.
Oh, so he went to the wrong one.
He went to the wrong remnant, yeah. He ended up getting away, but he had to expend his third and last remnant to get out.
So now you're only going to have one for this upcoming fight, and that is not pretty because they're just running at you. VP is moving from one side of the map to the other. No ulti from Spectre. They're just in Roche, at least the Spectre is.
Ether Lens plus cast range talent on the Shadow Demon. ILTW even took the 15 Desolate damage talent instead of the dagger. I don't think I've seen that in a long time.
That's we're up by 20k. We can do that.
That's we do Roche like 30% faster because we have this extra damage. The pure damage does apply from the illusions of Shadow Demon as well as the Spectre onto Roche, so it gets chunked. Remember the good old days when all the illusion heroes were like the worst Rochers in all of Dota?
They all just
Spectre PL.
Here we go. There could be a big fit. They are going to throw up the Necro in the air. That's one way to deal with it. He's just going to be gone for now. Down. The Spectre might just die. Oh my goodness. 650 gold getting away. They're going to link 2 of them up together. Resolution gets the double edge. Will it be enough? He's going to get the Aegis. That's the big play right now. It's going to go down. Sumail picks it up and gets the kill. They kill Zides and they're turning around, but no one has killed 33. Let's see what happens. Rezo, he can't get a stop. Now he does. Sumail, can he die twice? So it's a question of perfect ice pad from No Tail. Resolution. He's getting right click. And keep it. They should be able to get him with this spear missile. Nice double chains by Sumail. Gets the kill on one, and now Solo. He's gonna die as well. OG, how the hell do you do it every single time? But see you, Seth. He'll right click. And as you said, no one, the only one still alive. But I would say that's a one fight from OG for sure. A huge one.
Somehow it didn't change the net worth lead at all, though. Like hardly. Meaning it did. Like, but
you see the
you go from 16 to 12. And you don't exactly have better late game, so they did an amazing job of execution. Out of any team I've ever seen, somehow OG just pulls one fight out of their ass, but they're somehow getting ILTW down before he had any significant contribution to the fight at all. But this Necrophos, man, he's just going to keep getting harder and harder to kill, and you don't have any naturally scaling way of killing him. Like, there's just some heroes in the game that eventually dish out enough damage to threaten a Necro, and they don't have that. They only have the Spirit Vessel, and he's already got the Greaves and a Lotus Orb. Yeah. Oh, God. He's got 27 armor. What's his magic resist because of the Nether Shawl? He's got 47% magic resistance. He's got 1,600 health. Like, all that health is effective because of that 75% heal from his second spell. Amplification, that is.
Well, they don't have the Aegis now, but you do get a jump forward. It will be onto the Chen. Can they get frame down? Yeah, they're going to throw out the ulti. They're going to clean up house. Now, after that fight, they're a little bit angry. There goes No Tail 33. You're going to be the next one to go down. And hey, there's just an item sitting on the ground. Dragon Scale, I believe it was actually the Dyers, and they lose it.
And maybe Chen found it with creeps or something and didn't see it.
Yeah, because I think I saw that get dropped like a minute ago, actually. I believe that was on the ground for a while. I could be wrong, but hey, Radiant will take another one. And Sumail, he's getting run down by ILTW bottom, but there are 3 dire heroes here.
I'm a big fan of this Blade Mill item on Necro. I think it enables the hero a lot, just because you didn't buy it for the active. It's just 6 armor, 38 damage, a little bit of mana pool, and like, the active's nice, you know, but that's not why you're buying it. As we see, ILTW is running at them.
Yeah, it just is still an Ember. Pardon me, they didn't take that. They're going to link 2 of them together. Now he can't get away. It will be the double silence, but no, it won't be because he get it off. Yeah, it saves the link. ILTW in a lot of trouble again. He has the Yashi, but no Menti does have 21 charges. They're just going to dunk up on him. Will he go down? No, Soxic goes down, I believe, just to the... Oh, my goodness. It's just owning him. And Seth, no, not the Earth Panda. It goes down. He dies. They do get Zions. But Sumail in trouble now. He'll be turned on. He'll get necroed, and it will kill him 70 seconds down. And I was wondering, when are they going to push the base, or how do they do it? Eventually, you just got to kill people. OG is the best team at delaying games because they know when to split push, how to pressure the map. But if you bleed out this much, you bleed out this much, you are going to lose your base.
Yeah, that dragon skill's actually going to pay some serious dividends for
Centaur, especially.
the 18 damage per second on the tower as he gets a plate mail of his own, working on his own Lotus Orb.
I thought Spectre was dead. Legitimately, I thought Spectre died, and it was the Earthshaker who fell over. I'm like, oh my goodness.
The Spirit Vessel was the only thing allowing them to kill anybody, and now they're having the double Lotus Orb, already one coming out on no one, saving Spectre there. It's just, it allows him to then Greaves and Death Pulse the Spectre. He has the extra 40 heal talent from level 15, so it's 160 heal on a 5-second cooldown.
It's pretty good. That adds up.
On Spectre, who has damage reduction, all of her health is effectively 28% more impactful, so all the heals are amped that much more. The sustain, it's just insane. Dealing with these heroes.
Bottom lane, they're going in on the set. The item path won't come out. Will it be enough to save? It's a perfect and grim stroke play by Solo, and they bring him down pretty easily. Seth.
Here we go.
They're running forward. No tail. I'm sorry, my friend. You're a dragon. You're dead.
Know your place.
Damn.
I do like the emote out there.
Yeah.
This is good. OG, I'm sure they can take it as much as they can dish it out.
Definitely.
Can't imagine them being the ones like getting tilted by
How could you do this to us? Are you serious? Well, you know they're all in good fun here, and they will bring down that last tier. Now they still have a tier 2 top.
Do you think they're having fun right now?
Oh, this game, absolutely not. They're having very little fun, I would say. I would say maybe 3% of fun. Maybe they're having fun because they want to bring down a raid boss. Like, this is a raid now. You're like, if we bring down this Necro, that's the win. But a TP out.
I'd be a bit concerned if they were having fun, you know? Like, if this is fun for you, that may be some masochistic stuff going on here. Zayak is super farming on the Shadow Demon. #1 net worth out of all the supports. I think the main difference is between the 5s, though. Grimstroke almost doubling up the net worth of the Jakiro.
And he has that Philosopher's Stone, which helps out, and yet we do see the neutral items there. And yeah, the Dragon Scale was indeed stolen, as we see there. Feels bad. And that's the problem. You actually brought that up. Like, these heroes that want to... We saw it in a game earlier where, right, it was a Lycan and his wolves got a kill, and he had to run back to get the item, and he died because of it. It's kind of funny, like, random stuff like that semi-nerfs a hero, or not even nerfs, it just makes it odd.
I think it made Arc Warden worse. I saw it happen 2 or 3 times to Quakefa during Liquid's
You can't pick up items with that?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because it goes away, so you shouldn't be able to.
It's very strange. It is pretty insane how it takes playing them. You have to play the hero to really know, but there's just random changes like that make certain heroes way better, and certain things that you could do in the past, like if you used to try to TP away as, say, your Manta Illusions are killing a camp if you're Pill or Naga or something, and now you have to be really careful of that if it's like after the 15-minute mark or right after the 25-minute mark.
Yeah.
Just because dropping those neutral items, it can be costly. We've seen it. It can sway the momentum of a game if, like, the Essence Ring just randomly given to the opponent.
Oh, Sumail, is he just dead before he casts anything? No, he does actually run it out. He'll stay alive for now, and the Shadow Demon ult just eating him alive. Sumail goes down to it. The Centaur trying to chase down the Panda, the little Pandas, and he's just right-clicking them all down. You can't kill this Shadow Demon. They're just too damn tanky. No, they're just going to follow that Earth Panda slowly but surely. He's going to try to run away. I don't think that's going to work. Goodbye, Seb. For the 10th time, 0, 10, and 5. A very rough... I mean, it was a rough game for all of OG, but especially Seb. And they're going to finally push into the base. What do you go on Necro now? He doesn't even know. 3.6k gold. He saved it all up.
Just go like harder Shivas. Just some other.
I like Shivas.
Like make it even harder to kill you item. Hard sounds maybe extreme, but he will literally never die if he has it. So.
I do have obviously OG is losing, but are you surprised by the Earthshaker build? He was the dude going Guardian Greaves. Mana Boots mech. Very different.
Huh.
Not sure I enjoy. Obviously, it's an OG thing, right? Everyone kind of contributes to these ores and stuff.
Let's be honest. If he
Earthshaker,
blink echoes, who dies?
True. Feels like pretty much any item at this point. You know, you're just trying your best to stay alive. Well, melee barracks will go down pretty easily.
I'm not saying it's good, but I don't think Blink actually does anything this game. I think that might be the first time I've ever said that about a Shaker.
Oh my god. Because They just don't really have much to set up. Maybe set up for the nice path, but
Still sustained from Necro is insane.
they're trying so hard. 4.1k gold even bottled up from the Necropos, not even wanting to spend it. Slowly bring down Drake. They're getting the play for. Oh my goodness, so much damage. The Wombo combo. It's not the Earthshaker's team. It's the Centaur melting all of them. And Solo, your place, 36-6. An absolute stomp from VP. Virtus Pro, man. And I remember the first two series we casted with them, right? They had terrible games. It stopped. I mean, obviously they're undefeated, but they lost those two first games like 15 minutes. We're like, oh, okay, not sure. Now